Hey y'all, welcome back to my garden. It's Sunday, so I'm out in the garden doing chores. Not doing a whole lot today because number one, the UV index is really, really high today. There's not much wind either. It looks like there's a little bit of wind because the trees and plants are swaying, but it's not really a lot of wind. And what there is hot wind. So I'm trying my very best to only go out. First of all, it's the heat of the day. It is almost 1 o'clock. So I'm only trying to go out there. I've been out here most of the morning, and I'm only now trying to go out when there's a little bit of cloud cover, which there's not a lot of. And then when there is some cloud cover, it doesn't last for very long. So last video I did, I talked about the garden teaching us patience, and boy, does it ever. It teaches us a lot of patience. I'm in a position right now where I'm starting a few things over, which, praise God, we have a long growing season here, because I lost a couple of tomatoes, more than a couple, a handful of tomatoes, and I lost a couple of cucumber plants. So, and some peppers. So, I'm starting those over. The reason I lost them is because we were having like torrential rains, like every day it would rain like mad and then get super duper hot. So the ground was wet, which is great, but it was never having an opportunity to dry out. And when the sun finally did come out, it was so harsh that it was burning leaves and things like that. And as you know, if any plant doesn't have enough leaves to photosynthesize and to take in nutrients and all of those things, the roots are doing great because they're in the ground and they're watered and all of that, but we need the leaves as well for photosynthesis and all those other technical scientific things. Actually, I said the roots are doing great. Some of the plants, that's why I lost them. The roots were not doing great because there's so much water in the ground, and like I said, it never gets a chance to dry out. So lost some things, and I have some things that are struggling. So that's why I'm kind of like out here today. I'm not trying to plant anything because it's too hot. I am starting seeds. Back here behind me, you can see I have my little trays ready to go. So I am starting seeds possibly. But let me show you truly what I'm coming out to do. So over here, I'm going to pick these collards. Last video, again, like I said, I was talking about exercising patience and also the difference between when a plant is overwatered versus underwatered and how they kind of look similar. So you have to be very, very careful. I came out here with my little water meter and tested, and the ground is saturated. And this baby is struggling. The way I know it's struggling is when I start to have pest damage like this. Can you see that? My shadow is there. Let's go on the other side. When I start to have pest damage like that, I know that that's because she's struggling. Of course, these, I already know what they are. Ooh. I started turning the leaves over, and can you see that? You see those bugs? Those are cabbage worms. And this plant is susceptible because she's struggling. So I'm gonna come out here and take off some of the collard green leaves that are still doing well, that are okay, and they're big enough to eat. I'm gonna take those off. I'm gonna kill the bugs, and I'm gonna cook those collard greens that are still doing well. I hope that there will be enough left for this baby to continue producing. If not, we'll go ahead and pull her up. But again, I'll have to wait to see what happens there. This is the other thing that I'm working on. Hello, hibiscus. She's doing great. She loves the heat. Very, very tropical. We're not doing anything with her today. She's doing absolutely wonderfully. What we are doing is doing some more amendments to this corner over here. I just pulled out, this was lettuce. Growing food in Houston is so strange, like it's really weird. This was lettuce that I had planted. I threw out a mix over here, not kind of like in this corner right here. And it grew pretty well. And then this stuff, like normally lettuces only grow well when it's kind of cool out. These are still really edible. I just am being a lazy gardener today, as I always am. I'm being a lazy gardener. I don't feel like picking through and getting the good leaves and leaving the bad, so I'm just going to compost all of it. And then I'm going to come over here and plant more more seeds of things like beans and mustards, like over here, which I'm going to get to in just a second, so that it can continue to enrich the soil. It's almost like planting a cover crop. That right there is a melon, and it really just started to take off. Our weather is so weird. Like, that lettuce should not have been growing still. It's too hot. But as you can see, it still was. But I need the space, so it has to go. This melon is just now starting to take off in all of this heat, which is pretty normal, but it really would have taken off way sooner than now. This corner right here, I've never amended this. I've talked about this in previous videos. This section has never had anything planted in it. There was a bush over here that froze and then kind of came back, and then froze again and then kind of came back. And the last time it froze, it did not come back. It just was ugly, and we finally cut it down and finally dug out like the stump and the roots were like right here where those mustard greens are. The mustard I threw out there as a cover crop, again, to try to get some kind of nutrients back there. I also planted this bean. This is the leaves from one bean plant. See, I can show you. That's where I just cut it from. You see that? That's the stem, that's the root. I literally just cut it down. It was wrapped all around this shepherd's hook. And I'm gonna just leave it there and wait for it to start to kind of decompose a little bit. I'll fence this section off so Lola can't get back there. And then all of that, I'm just going to rake back into the soil. Normally I don't disturb the soil because I just do no dig gardening, but I'm gonna have to put that into the soil over here so that it can help to enrich it along with some compost. So that's what I'm working on. That's what I've been working on today. I'm gonna get going on those greens over there and then come back to this in maybe a couple of days when the beans have started to kind of decompose a little bit, and then I can do something with that, cover it with more dirt or whatever I'm gonna do. Meanwhile, time to go get some greens, y'all. So I killed so many worms, y'all. And they were mostly on the baby leaves. You know what they say, only the strong survive. So the babies are not that strong. And so that's where I found the most worms. This is all that's left of this collard green plant. We'll wait a few days, maybe a week, and see how she does. These down here did not have much damage, but again, lazy. And I'm not gonna feel like, I just know me, I'm not gonna feel like cutting around these burnt edges. Those are burnt because of the sun. And you can see these were the babies. See that worm there? Like, these little babies were completely susceptible, and that's why I just completely took that top off of the plant. See that right there? I just took it completely off because those are super susceptible to damage. So this right here is all gonna go, most of it is gonna go into compost, and I picked what I had that was good, tried to leave a little bit so I can still do some more, and that's pretty much it. And it's hot, so I am done for the day. As always, thanks again for stopping by. You guys, did y'all notice something really quickly before I go? I have gotten so much better about dealing with bugs in the garden. Those little worms, even as recently as a year ago, like, I would not have touched them. I would have been screaming. I would have had one of the guys come out and take those leaves off of me because I would not have gone near it. I finally am getting to a point where I just have to realize, Nick, you are like 10 million times the size of this little bug, and it's not a bug that can bite you or that can, give you any kind of disease or kill you or anything like that. Just get rid of the daggone thing. Now, sometimes I do still squirm and scream, especially for those hornworms and sometimes the armyworms, because those biggest boogers get really, really big, and I'm not trying to play with them. But she's gotten so much better. I'm so proud of myself. Anyway, now, thank you, as per usual, for stopping by and for hanging out in the garden with me. Until the next time, you guys. Bye.